One of Vancouver's iconic restaurants is Vij's. Vikram Vij is the public face of the restaurant, but the woman behind the enterprise is Meeru Dhalwala. She works with a large team of immigrant women who have opened her eyes to their world. Her new restaurant in Seattle is getting rave reviews there. She's about to publish her third cookbook. She's taken a leadership role in our network of local farmers markets and the innovative UBC Farm. Please welcome Meeru Dhalwala.
So right behind you, what you're going to get is a complete feeling of the magical world in which I live. And so I have absolutely no desire to be the public face of anything because I love what you're going to see behind the stage. And it's to the point that I don't even consider myself a workaholic. I'm such a lucky person. My work is my life is my love, and if anything, I consider myself a liveaholic, and it's a really fortunate place to be, and I don't want to expose it to too much publicity because I don't want to ruin it. We've created everything you're going to see here. Everybody that you see on the screen, people who, if you've gone to Vij's restaurant, every single thing created has been created and prepared by women with absolutely zero professional restaurant or chefy experience. And everything that you taste, everything that you see has done by exactly the opposite of social isolation. And I ask myself, it's been 20 years now, I've been doing this, I love it, and I can say to you, not with arrogance, but with a lot of pride, this is fantastic. And how did I get here? Like, how did I get here? How do I have the time to do everything? And it all goes back to the social isolation of one woman. And that one woman is my mother. My mother in 1969 was in New Delhi. I was about, 4 years old, maybe almost 5. And my father came home and said, all in Hindi, but I'm going to speak in English. I got a work visa to go to the United States. And my mother looked at him. And, talk about a woman making a decision. She said, no effing way are you going to America on your own. And he said, but no, we have no money. I'm going to go to America. I'm going to earn the money. Once I settle down, I'll get an apartment, I'll get a home. Then I'll call you and Meeru to America. And listen to the layers of my words really carefully. I'm telling you real thoughts, and real thoughts are not always great thoughts, but we have the right to our real thoughts. So she said, oh, you think just because I'm uneducated and I don't speak English, I don't know what's going on in America. And he asked her, well, what are you talking about? And she said, I know for a fact that American women sleep with men really easily. And I know for a fact that the Vietnam War is going on, and the whole reason you want to go to America is so that you can F around on me. And you chose to marry me and have a child before you chose to go to America. So either we're all going or none of us are going. And so all three of us in 1969 in the winter landed in Washington, D.C. And what I remember is the cold. I totally remember the cold. And I was bundled up in an overlarge coat. My mom put her chudni, which is like a chiffon scarf, around my neck. And it was I come from a country that you could pee in your pants and it would dry in 3 seconds. And now here I am all bundled up and I turn my head like this and I see darkness from the hood that I'm wearing. And, but it's okay. I start school. My father goes to work. My mother can't speak English. My mother wears saris, my mother wears a kurta pajama, and my mother is by herself. My mom decides to learn English through soap operas. And eventually, she gets going. But what happens with a lot of immigrants, which a lot of you don't realize, but you read about it very intellectually, but think about this emotionally, how you would feel. There's a lot of fighting going on. There's a lot of fighting going on when you don't know where the money is going to come from. There's a lot of fighting going on when you've got no resources of family or friends or language or culture around you. And so the big fight in my household was, Omi, my mother, are you going to get a job? We need the money. It was your idea to come with Meeru in the first place, and it's hard to settle down a whole family versus one single man. And so my mother gets a job, and it's at a fast food restaurant. And, she comes home, and she's upset, and she says to me, and I forgot to ask Lynn if there's permission to curse, but I have to. She comes home all upset, and she said, well, the woman who trained me today said to me, look, you sneaky bitch, you can't get my job. And actually, she didn't say that. She said, look, you sneaky bitch with a bindi. And a bindi is a red dot on the forehead. And, you know, my mom took that. She was fine. She went to work. And the reason why they thought she was a sneaky bitch with a bindi is because she smiled a lot to compensate for her lack of English. And, but she worked with them. You know what? They were women. She worked with them. Then one day she comes home, and she's in a rage, and she quit her job. And my father is livid, like, now what happened? And she says, you know what? I already clean toilets for an Indian man who yells at me all the time. No way am I going to start cleaning toilets again now for a white man who also yells at me. And she quit her job. But she quit her job, but she was alone after that. And I always saw my mother alone. I always saw my mother, who was my mom at home, an elegant lady. She sang and she cooked everything out. She cooked out her isolation. She cooked out her loneliness. And I stank. I stank when I went to school, but it was a beautiful stink of curry. And you know, and you don't realize that. And so one day over summer vacation, because we don't have any money, because my mom won't work, because my mom's self-esteem and you know, she's got her pride, but she took a price for that pride. We're at home, it's summer vacation. You know, all of my friends are going to the pool because they can belong to the club, the community club, but we don't have that money for the club. I watch 3 hours of soap operas every single day. All my children, One Life to Live, and General Hospital. My father complains that his daughter's going dumb from too many soap operas. And then one day I am bored, and my mother looks at me and she says, you know what? I want you to make my cup of chai for me today. And I said, you want me to make your chai? My mom and her chai are a very special thing at 4 o'clock. And she goes, yep, I want you to go. I want a hot cup of chai, exactly how I make it. And she tells me how to make it, piping hot, cardamom, fennel, a little bit of sugar, and how much milk. So I make it. I don't even bring it to her, and she goes, no, that's no good. And why? I see no steam coming out of that cup. I need a hot cup of chai. But she drank it. Then the next day, again, let's make a cup of chai. She takes it again, and she says to me, there's not enough cardamom in this one. I was like, okay, this went on for a long time, me making the perfect cup of chai, which in retrospect is just my mother keeping me company. And then she says to me, she goes, Meeru, here's what you have to do. I watch you with that cup of chai in your hand. My eyes need to see the steam coming out. You need to first please my eyes, okay? Then, as I see the steam coming out, I'm satisfied that it's hot enough. Then as I bring the cup to me, I need to smell the cardamom and I need to smell the fennel. Then my nose tells me that yes, she has put in the right spices. Then automatically, my taste buds are gonna be happy. Now make me that perfect cup of chai. I go there and I boil the water and I boil the water, and what ends up happening is I spill it all over my belly. I get burns, it's all spilled, ER room, and I'm in bed for the next 10, 15 days. I don't know how long. My father says, don't you dare take her back into the kitchen. And my mom says, don't worry about it, I won't. I stand up. My mom asks me, are you okay? I said, yep, I'm fine. Okay, go back into that kitchen and make me that perfect cup of chai, and do not tell your father. 30 years later, or 20 years later, I'm at Vidge's, a 14-seat restaurant on West Broadway with Amarjeet Gill, one of the women that I'm hugging in one of these pictures. And I decided I am going to create a workplace where my mother would be so happy and not be socially isolated. And that's what you taste in the food at Vidge's. Thank you very much, everybody.